Hey guys, welcome to Let Me Talk. Let Me Talk is a podcast show that Armando Torres, created, and well, we're in the day before Valentine's Day, and I just want to say later on today I will be releasing Let Me Talk presents Jonathan Zeichner, and today I have with me a very special guest, Nathan Haas. He's a two-time state champion wrestler and is now a wrestler in the University of Nebraska. It's an honor to have you here, Nathan.
Thank you so much.
So how you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's a nice day in Lincoln. It's a little bit warmer today. It's been snowing like crazy out here. Definitely not used to it from being from California. But it's been nice.
For the people, well, Nathan, do you prefer to be called Nathan Haas, Nathan, or Mr. Haas?
I like to be just called Nathan. That's fine.
All right, Nathan. For the people that don't know who Nathan Haas is, who are you?
I started my career, really getting known, I guess you could say, at St. John Bosco High School. I wrestled there. I gained some pretty good knowledge from the community, and I think that's where a lot of people recognize me from. But I'm a fashion design major as well. I love art and stuff like that, so there's definitely another side of me besides wrestling.
So you really like art?
Yeah. I go to a lot of art galleries and stuff like that back in California, and yeah, I really like that.
All right. So at what age did you start with the fashion?
Fashion is I just always liked clothes, and then I started diving into it deeper through Instagram and stuff like that, and then I would go to high-end stores and stuff like that just to check it out, and then one day I was just like, I want to do this. I want to become a designer and stuff like that, so start my own brand. So I decided to become a fashion design major, and so far it's been working out pretty well.
I bet it was really fun doing that, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's only the start, but I still have 4 more years. But so far, it's been nice learning, technique and stuff like that to really progress myself in design.
And do you make clothes right now?
I took a sewing class this semester, and I got to make a dress shirt and some pants. So that was a cool experience, and maybe start my sewing my own clothes, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay. So, what do you plan doing after college? Like anything, like in or out of fashion?
After college, I definitely want to start my own clothing brand. But I am open to going into businesses as well. Maybe some major corporations and start designing for them as well. That's definitely a goal of mine.
All right. Well, let's get back to wrestling. At what age specifically did you start wrestling?
I started wrestling at 10 years old. My dad wrestled in high school, and he would always wrestle with me in the living room and stuff like that. So one day I was just like, you know what? I just want to join and see what it's all about. So my mom Googled a wrestling club in our area, and Team Tribe Wrestling Club popped up, and that was the first place we went to. And it's actually the kids club to St. John Bosco. So I got into Team Tribe, and they worked with me for many years. I was there, and I really enjoyed it. I felt like I was pretty good at it at a young age. I stuck with it. And then, of course, seeing, Zahid and Anthony and Ann Pico and Kate Olivas come out of the room every day after our practice, that was a big part of it, seeing these top guys coming out of the room and the word going in. I definitely wanted to be a part of St. John Bosco's wrestling room. So yeah, I decided to go to St. John Bosco. My first year, I made it to, I lost at Masters, so I didn't get to go to state. We had a great freshman team, Scipio, Timothy Levine, Jesse Vasquez. So these are top guys that I knew that were going to be something someday. So when I lost that Masters and they kind of went on the state and stuff like that, it was kind of a bummer, and I really I really wanted to work towards that because I knew I was right there with them, but I just wanted to prove it. So that really hurt, and then just kept training and training. Sophomore year, I got better. I learned some more technique and stuff like that, and then I ended up finally making it to state, winning some battles here and there, little rivalries with other kids, and then made it to state, and then I lost in the blood rounds to Javon Smith, who we went back and forth that year, sophomore year, and he ended up placing, and I didn't. And then that really burned a fire in me, I wanted to play so bad,
Yeah.
So I worked my butt off that summer, going to some national tournaments here and there, and then I ended up placing second at Fargo, and that was a huge deal. It finally got me onto the national rankings. So now I finally got it together. I've been training so hard. I've been working my butt off. I've been learning the technique, and now it's finally paying off.
Yeah.
So then, that year, junior year, I go on. I just started, making goals to beat everybody in the state, and then I started climbing up the rankings. I think I started off at like number 5 or something like that, and I just started taking off all the top guys. And then, that year was great. Junior year was pretty good. I ended up winning the state title, my first state title, and it was nice. It felt like I was on top of the world.
Congratulations.
Like yeah. And then senior year, we did the same thing. So that's pretty much how my career in high school went, and how I got into wrestling a little bit.
So, like, if you didn't go to St. John Bosco, what high school would you have gone to?
I'm not too sure. I didn't really think about that too much, Even in middle school, I was already thinking about Bosco. It was kind of one of those things where I had a goal set, and I knew I wanted to do it so badly. I wasn't even paying attention to any in high school, to be honest.
Yeah. What was the training like at Bosco?
Bosco, trained every day. Hard work. We would come in at 4 o'clock, and we wouldn't get out until maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock. 2 hours of practice, and then 2 hours of lift. And it was a hard practice, hard lift, and we definitely got after it. Guys like Kale Valencia and Sonny Santiago, they really helped push me to another level, and we were constantly battling with each other, and it really elevated all of our games, I believe.
Before you were like a two-time state champion, how did people see you at school? Like, how did people see you? Did anything change after you became a two-time state champion?
No, it actually didn't too much. Out of all guys school, it didn't really change that much at all. I mean, your friends were still your friends then, and no one really perceived you any differently than that even after we won. And plus, all the wrestlers at St. John Bosco kind of just hanged around with each other, and we didn't really branch out too much. So yeah, it didn't really affect anything. Maybe we got like a fist bump or something like that after the initial day, but it didn't change anything at all.
Yeah, so you're still in contact with the friends that help you along the way, like your fellow wrestlers?
Yeah, we're in contact all the time. Every time I'm back in California, always gotta say hi to them and maybe get some food with them. But yeah, definitely all the time.
And so like
the social media, stuff like that.
So like when you were like in duels or tournaments, did the other like high school's team look at you different, like saying like, hey, that's Nathan Haas? Like, did anyone look at you like that, or did you notice that, like talking about you?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because we were in especially in CIF duels. A lot of these schools know that a lot of us who we are. Especially because I wasn't the only state champ there. We had Sonny Santiago. We had pretty top guys like Kale Valencia. He's a big name, and so yeah, definitely a lot of kids would talk about us or whisper in the crowd, but yeah, it was exciting, just going out there and giving it your all against whoever you're wrestling, putting on a show, and it was fun.
How did your parents feel? Like, were your parents always with you? Like, did your parents watch every single match of yours?
Yes, yeah, I would say my dad is my biggest fan, and my mom is my biggest fan as well. You know, they're everywhere. They're watching it. No matter if they couldn't be there, they're watching it on Flow, and I was calling them before the match and calling them after the match. You know, so yeah, they've been a huge help to me. My grandpa as well. He's been a huge help to me as well. He would get me to wherever I needed to be, and yeah, he was a huge help to me in my national career as well, getting me to these big tournaments. And yeah, it's been a journey for sure.
This was all through like almost like a leap of determination. You were determined throughout this whole time.
Yeah, so actually, funny story is like, I was going to these national tournaments and I wasn't placing. You know, I was going 0-2 or 1-2, and my parents were like, you know, these tournaments are very expensive. You know, we can't keep sending you out there and you're going 1-2, 0-2. You know, there's something's got to change here. You know, or else we just can't afford sending you to these big tournaments anymore. So I asked them, you know, give me one more chance. Give me one more chance and I'll do it. I'll place at least, you know. And they're like, all right, we'll send you to Fargo. And that was where everything kind of changed for me, was Fargo. So, you know, I just came out. This is sophomore summer. So I just came off of a blood round loss at state. You know, I was 0-2 at a few national tournaments. They're like, all right, here's your last chance. Here's Fargo. I go out there. I made it to like, you know, round 3. Then I have the number 1 seed in the quarters. I take him out, and then I have the number 2. Like, in the semis, I had like a nationally ranked guy, Kyle Haas, and I ended up taking him out. Then I make it to the finals. You know, that's a big deal. The Fargo finals is pretty hard to make, and I ended up taking second, but it was a huge jump in my career for me. And then that's where I really gained the confidence and just determination to keep doing things like that, you know, keep making it to these finals. And I think that really elevated me as well.
Yeah, were you like hyped or scared or serious when you were at Fargo? Nervous?
I was serious, you know. I knew that if I didn't place, I wouldn't be able to keep going to these national tournaments, and I knew I had to win. I knew I had to keep advancing throughout the tournament. And then, so yeah, it was more of a serious determination type thing, you know. I knew I had to just keep making it.
Yeah, like
match after match.
You didn't come all this way for nothing. You know, you gotta make it.
Yeah.
Fargo's a huge deal.
Yeah.
It's a really huge deal. When were you when you were at CIF, I believe state finals, you went against Trent Tracy in your junior year?
No, so actually, I was number 2 going into state that year, and the whole year I wrestled everybody, pretty much top ranked to state. You know, I wrestled, you know, 2 through 10 probably. I wrestled everybody that year. The only person I didn't wrestle was Trent Tracy, and I wanted to wrestle him so bad that year. And then I made it to the I believe we were both back to back in quarters, and he ended up losing to Joe Curtis. So that was my opportunity gone right there. I couldn't wrestle him throughout that whole year, and then he just lost in the quarters. So that was a big. I wouldn't say it kind of like it kind of ruined a goal for me. You know, I wanted to face him so bad. So after that, it was all right. I just got to keep going and see who else makes it to the finals with me.
How did you feel like when? Were you aware that you were gonna wrestle like those top 3 in the state? Like, how did you feel? Like you wanted to you exercised like almost like every day for this, right?
Yeah. So previously, you know, I've wrestled everybody in the state. You know, top 3. I've already wrestled them except Trent Tracy. So seeing him go down, I'm like, okay, well, I've already wrestled these guys. You know, I've already been on the stage with these guys. So I was really confident after that. You know, I was like, all right, well, I've already wrestled these guys. I've already beat them. So just time to prove it again. And then Joe Curtis and Javon Smith actually had a really close match, I believe. And then it was Javon Smith ended up make it into the finals. And so yeah, that was a cool little rivalry we had, years before, because he beat me in the blood rounds the previous year. So then now I get to face him in the finals for the state title.
How did your coaches feel when you were at this point?
In the state finals?
Yeah.
They were excited, but the whole goal the whole time was to win it. So yeah, we were just determined to win it. But that's what we've been training for. We've been training for that state title. We've been working so hard to become a state champion. We're finally here now. We just gotta prove it. Yeah.
Have you been practicing through this pandemic, and if so, how hard?
Yeah, we've been going full blow. I mean, here in Nebraska, we test every day. We're constantly, following the protocols and stuff like that. So we've been having tournaments and stuff like that, especially in the Big Ten. Multiple duels and stuff like that against, Wisconsin and other Big Ten schools. So it's definitely been. It's just another season, I guess.
Did you win your first wrestling match when you wrestled for University of Nebraska? Did you win?
Yeah, I did actually. I ended up facing Owen Webster. He was number 20 at the time. So it was a big deal for me to prove that I belonged here, and that I could step up to the plate and really take out these top guys.
When you went over there to University of Nebraska, where you are now, how did some of the teammates know you before you knew them, or?
Yeah, some of the teammates, they watched some, videos of me and stuff like that. You kind of, as a wrestler here at the University of Nebraska now, we have some incoming freshmen coming in, so we already kind of know who's coming in, and we're kind of looking at them and watching their career in high school as it unfolds right now. So yeah, it was a pretty cool experience coming in, and then people already kind of knowing who you are. And here in Nebraska, it's a family. We're really family orientated, and everybody's a brother to me. So it's been really nice.
Yeah. Do you think any of the guys that you beat in college wrestling right now, do you think they could have a rematch?
Yeah, I mean, since we're in the Big Ten, it's going to happen eventually, Of course, years to come, we're going to be battling the same people over and over again. So yeah, there's going to be guys that I'll be facing, pretty consistently, week after week. So yeah, it's a pretty good experience. Each weekend you're facing a top guy, good wrestler, top wrestler. So there's no week off for sure.
Since you guys said you guys are Big Ten, does that mean you guys are like the number 10 in the whole United States? So
so each college is sectioned off into conferences. So the Big Ten is basically Penn State, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Michigan State. Just top schools after top schools. So Iowa as well. So I mean, you really got to face the top guys each week.
I'm sorry, hold on. Are there any guys on the team that are married right now?
Yeah, there's some older guys on the team, 25 years old, and they're starting their own life as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see, top guys like that, really starting their lives and still being able to advance in their college and career and still wrestle, and it's pretty cool to see.
And you're taking fashion classes right now in the University of Nebraska?
Yes.
Is it really hard doing that?
I wouldn't say hard, but it's definitely, it makes you really be creative and really express yourself in creative ways. Um, I wouldn't say necessarily hard, but it makes you really think, and it kind of gives you a competitive edge against other kids. So, your design wants to be, especially for me, I want my design to be top in the class. So, I definitely work on all my designs as hard as I do wrestling, really, to try to compete in the classroom as well.
Have you ever made like your own custom singlets?
I haven't. I've actually looked into it. I've actually wanted to do it for a while. I just never ended up buying one or making it myself. So.
Well, like, what's your favorite clothing brand?
My favorite clothing brand would have to be probably Supreme. I love Supreme. But other than that, anything that I really like the colors of, or anything that just looks good to me, I pretty much like any clothing brand, So as long as it looks good.
So right now, like, what are plans on making your own clothing brand? But making your own, like, in 10 years or so, or 5 years. Do you plan to see yourself like making a clothing brand, or where do you see yourself?
In 10 years, hopefully, yeah, I have my own clothing brand already started up. I have a few logos already, and I have a few ideas already what I want to do for my clothing brand. So yeah, in 10 years, hopefully it's halfway started up, and we're already rolling up t-shirts and stuff like that. So yeah, in 10 years, definitely I wanna have my own brand already secured, and maybe I'm working for a bit major corporation and doing my brand, as well. So yeah, that's a big goal for me.
Do you also plan like returning to Bosco and coaching some of like the new students that they go to Bosco like in 10 years or 5 years?
I've thought about that a little bit, going back and giving back to the community as well. So yeah, maybe that's a possibility, giving back. And, a lot of people helped me along the way, so I think maybe I could go back and help some other kids as well get to where they need to be,
Yeah, so, are there any like notable guys like that help you like when you were in Bosco? Are there any like notable guys that like help you like really like famous in the wrestling community, like big in the wrestling community?
Ruben Valencia, our coach at St. John Bosco, he's been a huge help to me. He's really gotten me to where I needed to be, and he's helped me along the way tremendously. I don't think I could really be here without the help of him. He's gotten me to a D1 school, and he's gotten multiple kids to D1 schools, and I think that's a huge impact on the wrestling community. One guy is able to send multiple kids to D1 colleges. It's huge, and I thank him so much, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to really learn under him and take advantage of what he had to teach me.
From all your wrestling career, do you have like an estimation or exact number of how many matches you wrestled?
I know my record is somewhere, but I don't exactly know the number. Yeah, it's a hard one. I know it's past 100 wins. So I want to say it's in somewhere like in the 160s maybe, but I'm not too sure.
How do you feel like, since like people look up to you because of like those amount of winnings? How do you feel because people look up to you?
In high school, I kind of looked at it as like, I put in the work and I'm at the top. I was one of those kids that looked up to people as well. I looked up to Zahid and Anthony a lot, and I wanted to be just like them. And I was pretty fortunate to go to their same high school and grow under their coach as well. So making it to becoming a 2-time state champion, that was kind of like a goal of mine. Like, dang, I was that closer to becoming just like them, you know. But so yeah, they were a huge help to me. But for kids looking up to me, you know, I hope that they might, you know, have a goal as well to be a 2-time state champ, or, you know, getting somewhere in their career.
What is one?
It's kind of weird.
Oh, sorry. What is one thing that you would tell them not to do in wrestling?
Not to do. That's a hard one. You know, everybody has their own challenges and styles to wrestling. Not to do. I don't know. I can't pinpoint it because there's so many. You know, there's so many different styles and different kids that are just as athletic, or, you know, they got the skills. You know, so it's really hard to say what not to do.
What did Anthony and Zahid tell you? Like when you were like starting?
I didn't really get that much, you know, interaction with them, but I definitely, you know, drilled with them here and there. And my inspiration just came from watching them, you know, because they were already going to college when I was like, I was already a freshman when they were already in college, so I didn't really get to interact with them. But just watching them wrestle and knowing how good they were, I wanted to aspire to that.
Alright. What, like, was there anyone else that helped you?
You know, my parents, my coaches, grandparents, you know, just the family support in general, you know. It takes a lot to wrestle, and you know, constant sacrifice, and, you know, really no days off, you know, on Christmas, you know, practicing, on, you know, any day it was, we were practicing. Thanksgiving, we were practicing, you know, so there was a lot of sacrifice, and just the family oriented as well just helped me get, you know, to where I needed to be.
Did your neighbors know of you? Like, did they support you too?
No, not really. My neighbors didn't really know, you know, who I was or anything like that, and I didn't expect them to, you know. It's just, I mean, it's a big deal, but it's just, you know, to the average person, it's just, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool that you're a 2-time state champ or something like that.
How does it feel? Because I saw a video where, I believe it was Jordan Burroughs. He announced who was, I believe, yeah, California state champion back in 2019, I believe, or 2020, one of those years. He said your name.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
That was pretty awesome, you know, especially coming to Nebraska. I see him every day, you know, he's 2 lockers down from me. So I talk to him, you know, here and there sometimes like that. So it was pretty cool seeing him on the video, but it's even cooler seeing him in person, you know. So it's been a huge blessing to have him here in Nebraska, and being able to talk to him and learn from him and watch him wrestle and stuff like that live in person. So that's pretty awesome.
Have you wrestled him, like, practiced?
I drilled with him one time. That was pretty much it. Usually he has his own partners like that. So, but yeah, it's been cool to see him in the room and see his training process and see his competitiveness. So it's pretty awesome.
How did you feel when Zahid Valencia went against Jordan Burroughs? How did you feel when you saw that?
Oh, that was a real close one to me, because on one side I had my Bosco family, and I'm really close to their dad, you know, so it was kind of a tear of who I was gonna go for, especially being, you know, Nebraska now. They got Jordan Burroughs, so yeah, that was a hard one to really emotionally get into, because on both sides of the family I had you know, pretty close ties.
Mm-hmm. If you were able to choose, who would you want to win?
I don't know. That was like I said, it's just on both sides I had, you know, pretty close ties, so I couldn't really go for anybody.
When you said that you met Jordan Burroughs, like you saw him physically, did he already know who you were, like just by looking at you? Like, did he already know you?
I can't remember that day. But I'm not too sure, to be honest.
All right. I think this is a wrap.
All right.
It was an honor having you here, Nathan.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It was a cool experience, and thank you.
What can you tell, like, some of my listeners are wrestlers? What can you tell them?
Just keep working. It's definitely a process. I didn't start off the best wrestler. I started off, as a okay wrestler, and I had to work a lot. I had to work very hard to get to where I was. I didn't make it to state my freshman year. I lost in the blood rounds my sophomore year. But then that next year, I worked my butt off, and then I became a state champion. So it's really all just about how much work you're willing to put in, and how much you're able to sacrifice to get where you want to be.
All right. Well, it was an honor having you here, Nathan. You take care of yourself. Good luck. Keep on winning, and good luck with your fashion fashion design hobby. Hopefully, you make a fashion brand.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to Let Me Talk, and this was Let Me Talk Presents Nathan Haas.